In here is a watch that's been highly recommended by viewers who always say it's better than the ones that I'm already recommending. Now, there's a reason I haven't talked about this brand before, and that's because I'm not a fan of the way the logo looks, as bad as it sounds. Yeah, it's always put me off their watches, but I'm going to see if I can get past that. This is supposedly the Swiss watch company Trench. Despite the name, I believe this is actually an American brand whose products are made in Switzerland, a bit like Hamilton, for instance. Yeah, I'm excited to take a look and see if my viewers are right about this being a really high quality product. Let's crack it open. Cloth. We've got some other bits, a couple of different bits actually. So I have like a leather kind of pouch here, and I've never seen one quite like this before. Feels very nice and it feels very organic, I must say. We have a card with a curved spring bar taped to it, and then here's the case with said logo. There's a strap in this one. There is a watch in this one. Is this the Trench? Or is this something else? I think this is actually a different one. I thought it was the Trench they were sending me. Yeah, this looks different than the one on the website. I think my polarizer is blocking my screen, but it's definitely different. Screw down crown. There we go. That's nice. What we'll say is this is extremely light. This has to be titanium of some sort. Yeah, titanium arc. That looks like that's the name of this model. This one is super light, super thin. Both things I like in my field watches. I'm not sure how much this one retails for. I'll have to check. But yeah, there's a second one. I wonder if this is the one. Nice. Sweet, a nice little handwritten message. How kind. The warranty card there. And so we have some sort of nylon band here. And this one is the Trench. Yes, it even says Trench on it. Very nice. Me and my wife both actually quite like the look of these. My favourite version was one of the other ones on this site, which isn't quite available yet, the Gradient dial. Still not a fan of the logo, gotta be honest. We'll get into more detail on that in the full review, I'm sure. This one, I believe, is stainless steel, or is it titanium this? Is this titanium? It is titanium, but I'll tell you what, they've finished this one well. Nice dial surface too, and very, very slim again. This one is the manual wind version. Yeah, it looks decent. Strap 2 feels pretty good. As you can see here, it's got some natural graining here, although it does grain very light, so I might nourish that with some balm. But it suits the aesthetic, I must say. Maybe we'll have to kind of do a double review, given that there's another one in here. Here's a closer look at the arc, which appears to be using a quartz movement. So on their site, this one seems to be retailing for about maybe $190. It's £165, so whatever that equates to. The Trench is substantially more expensive, as you can imagine, for a mechanical piece. While it's got a similar overall shape, it does have more complex finishing, whereas the other one has like a blasted surface instead. Also, the crystal's raised here. Let's get the calipers on both of them. Wow, 38.5 wide for the arc. I wonder if because it's so thin, it makes it look like a bigger watch, like that frying pan effect. Even holding it here, looking to the naked eye, it looks like about a 41mm piece. But no, it's, yeah, about 38.5. Lug to lug, 45.5. And then thickness, pretty impressive at 8.2. Not bad at all. Here it is on wrist. I think I've worked it out. I think it's simply just the size of the dial compared to the rather narrow bezel width. It just makes the watch look substantially bigger. One thing to note is that on these YouTube videos, for whatever reason, whether it's lens distortion or something, the watches always look bigger compared to my wrist on camera than they do in person. Like in person, this looks more proportional than it does through the camera. But even so, it's maybe a fraction big for me still, based on the styling at least. And you can see here, they've got the curved bars there. I wonder if that's to account for the curvature of the case so that the strap still goes through. Let's try the other one. Now, looking at it on the surface, it's got to be a similar story here. Yeah, about 38.5 wide. And the lugs are surely going to be about the same. Yep, 45.5. But the thickness will be more because of the crystal. It's still very thin. 9.1. Yeah, this one looks decent on the wrist, I've got to say. I wonder if it's because of the domed crystal or something, or it looks like the dial curves at the edges potentially. It looks a fraction smaller in person than the other one, not by much, but yeah, it looks decent. That strap's going to take some time to wear in. As you can see, it's still very firm on the sides. The Trench uses sapphire. The Arc also uses sapphire. Here's a watch that we know has sapphire on it, just for comparison. This one goes a bit higher, but essentially, if there's a reading, it's almost guaranteed sapphire. I've never had a mineral even get past the one on there before. But yeah, overall, quite impressed, I'd say.